So joining me in a first on CNBC interview from the NASDAQ is the CEO, Mark Davis. Mark, welcome to the show and congratulations on the IPO.
Thank you for having me, Morgan. I appreciate it.
So let's start right there because the offering was oversubscribed. You priced higher than the initial IPO range, and then you popped. The stock popped when it began trading and closing about 37% higher than where we started here. Why go public now, and what does it enable?
So as you think about us going public, I think we look at it as a way to not only introduce people to the culture of our teams, the great guest service, but I think we also look at it as a way to reinforce the processes that we have. And most importantly, it helps with that disciplined development growth that we're pushing towards.
Yeah, same-store sales grew almost 11% in the most recently closed quarter. Does that growth continue?
So we are super fortunate to have just the very best baristas in the world. And I think as we look at how they drive that experience, we believe that that is long lasting and will be a great value story for years to come.
158 locations across 7 states. You're expecting to open another 30 this year. I was reading you're targeting 1,000 stores by 2035. What does that expansion plan look like, and what does that mean for folks like myself who are on the East Coast?
So we're going to grow by 20% a year. We're going to do that because of our push on people. We believe that it's a great way to help our teams not only experience both their professional and personal growth. We'll grow in concentric circles. And as you think about our growth, we'll start with the 7 states in the West. Again, those are the states that we're in. And you'll see us continue to grow both East and South. And that'll happen in the medium to long term.
This puts you in the public markets alongside other major coffee chains like Starbucks and Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros continues to grow. Starbucks is in the midst of a turnaround plan. How do you differentiate yourself?
So again, as you think about our story, we have the ability to have every store having a drive-through. We certainly lean into the order ahead and the third party. But what I would come back to is those great baristas, the experience they drive, that connection. And that obviously drives frequency of visit, which in turn is really great for our brand.
What are you seeing in terms of the labor market and your ability to get those baristas? And perhaps just as importantly, what are you seeing in consumer spending patterns right now?
So as you brought this up earlier, as you think about our same-store sales, that is reflected by growing transactions. We feel that's the most responsible way to push growth, and we've been really, really great with that. I think secondarily, when you think about our baristas, the way that we lean into the acumen that we teach them, the way that we drive the career path, and then the profit sharing has been just a giant part of our retention, which is industry leading.
Coffee futures have jumped in recent weeks, in part because of trade and tariff dynamics with the likes of Brazil. How are you navigating it?
So our founders from, again, the beginning in 2008 have a medium roast that is generated by 8 different countries. And the way that we're able to manage that is that we can navigate between the countries, keep our price neutral, which in turn drives a great value proposition, adding that great experience. And in turn, you're seeing that frequency of visit.
You know, I got to ask you, because you stepped into the CEO role, what, 2 years ago, took over from the founders, and I always think that's a fascinating dynamic. What does it mean in terms of your ability to grow the coffee chain and to continue to uphold and grow that culture?
So our founders are still involved. That's really central to who they are. Again, really solid partners for us. And I think when you look at the culture, we continue to realize that being differentiated by the experience driven by the baristas is so important. And so you'll see us double down in all the ways that we can strategically make sure that we keep them happy and retain them.